Good afternoon, everybody. MG here. MG Covers, bringing you a brand new sports handicapping video. Title of this video is my entire stat model for handicapping team totals in Major League Baseball. Super excited to bring you this video. Before we do that, as always, if you're watching this video for the first time and you have not subscribed to the channel, greatly appreciate you subscribing right now. Hit the subscribe button. And also, too, if you want to follow me on social media, MG Covers, Covers spelled with a Z. Give it a ton of content on Instagram. So if you follow me there, you get a ton of value. Also, the same screen name for Twitter is MG Covers, Covers spelled with a Z. All you have to do in the description in this video is click on the link, and it will take you directly there. Okay, so what we're going to do in this video is we're going to talk about the team totals. Before we do that, I want to show you the entire model results we've had for my Major League Baseball model. Super excited about this. It's been absolutely incredibly, I can't even think of a word to describe it. It's just been so accurate, so good. It's 47 and 32. That's 59%. It's up 27.25. And that's playing in all money line dogs, which is incredible to think it's that accurate and hitting that high of a percentage. Obviously, there's going to be some regression in this, but just an incredible model. Just to give you an example, Detroit was underdogs last 4 games. My model had them favored. The last 4 games, they cashed plus 175 here. Cash plus 214, lost at plus 150, but then won yesterday at plus 170. So it's really what you're looking for in a model. Books had them as underdogs all 4 games. My model had them as favorites. And of course, they won 3 of 4. So super excited about the model, and especially to see where this thing ends up by season's end. Okay, so let's dive back into team totals. Now, the reason I did this, I got a couple of requests for, a lot of people ask, hey, a lot of times you don't always show the model. So, hey, this is your video where I'm actually going to show you an entire model from A to Z. It's a very simple calculation. I'm going to talk about 2 reasons. Team totals is a very sort of undervalued, overlooked aspect of handicapping Major League Baseball. And another reason why it's extremely effective is that a lot of times when you see a heavy favorite, and we'll dive into this first example from yesterday, like Atlanta. Atlanta was minus 350, so there's no way you could play that minus 350, just no value. And you couldn't even really play it on the run line. Let's see what the run line was. I'm guessing it was probably minus 150 or something. I don't even know if they show it. Yeah, it's somewhere in there. It's irrelevant. But anyway, you couldn't even play it on the run line. So what you could do in a very effective way is to play it on the team total line. Now, the team total line, if I'm not mistaken, yesterday for Atlanta was 5. And that might not be 100% correct, but I got a client that's doing this. So what I want to do is show you how you can actually calculate this to have your own team total lines for all the games. Now, there's a lot of sites that you can use to scrape this material, and scrape means to have it downloaded into Google Sheets. I'm just going to explain it and calculate this by hand, so to speak, so that you can see it and understand it. Okay, so this was the game that was in question right here. This was the game that was being played. So what we're going to do is, it's very simple for Atlanta. We're going to add up all of the runs they scored in the last 8 games. So they scored 10, 8, 8, 6, 10, 5, 2, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I went too far. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we add up those 8 games, and Atlanta had a total of 55 runs scored in the last 8 games. The reason I use 8 games, I think that's a good, you have to sort of experiment. Like, for example, college football, you use the last 3. NFL, you use the last 5. For baseball, what I found this year, the last 8 games is a good sample size to use. In the past, I've used 10. You can experiment with it. I think 5 is too small of a sample size. I like 8. So Atlanta scored 55 runs in the last 8 games. So to get a team total line, we take, I'm doing this in Google Sheets, that number divided by 8, and that gives us an average. So Atlanta and their last 8 games is averaging 6.875 runs. So basically right at 7 runs a game, which is huge, right? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to turn around and do the same thing for Colorado. Now, again, you can do this. You can set this up through different sites where this can calculate a lot faster. I'm just showing you manually just so that you understand it. And I'm at covers.com, which is a pretty good resource site. So you want to look at here the number of runs they've given up, because this is going to give us a real accurate calculation. So we want to know how many runs is Atlanta averaging, and how many scoring, and how many runs is Colorado averaging giving up, which is going to take in starting pitching, take in relief pitching as well. So 14-10, whoops, this was the game in question. Okay, so let's back up. So 10, 8, 8, 6, 6, 3, 4, and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's our 8. So if we add that up, it comes to 52. So then we take that number divided by 8, and that gives us 6.5. Now, to get our final team total calculation for Atlanta, very simple. We're just going to add these two numbers up and divide by 2. And you can do this in Google Sheets very easy. This number plus this number, parentheses, divided by 2. So check this out. So we have a team total calculation for Atlanta of 6.6. The books line was 5. So to calculate our value, if you don't know how to do this, anytime you're calculating what we call value, you might hear margin. People that own business talk about profit margins. It's all calculated the same way. You take the little number, which is 5, divided by the big number, which is 6.6. And then you take that number minus 1, and it's going to be 25%. So we have a 25% margin comparing our line, which is 6.6, to the books line of 5. And the final result of that was Atlanta went well over the team total there. They actually ended up scoring 14 runs yesterday. So again, very simple way to calculate team totals. And again, you can see how effective this is. And the juice is going to vary. Probably for this game, I'm not sure. I'm going to show you another example. I would say sometimes the juice is around, minus 115. It could be as high as maybe minus 130, but still much better proposition playing it that way as opposed to laying minus 350 or even playing it on the run line. Okay? So let's look at an example from today, which is Monday, June the 19th, 2023. And we're going to scroll down to this Detroit game here. And again, very similar in the way that I handicap. I really don't lay. In fact, I'm not playing any favorites. But obviously, you could lay minus 140. The only problem with that is you're going to have to win. Let's say if you lost. So using $100 as an example, you're in the hole, $140. You have to win 2-1 to recover that to turn a profit. Very difficult to do, so you'd have to average 66% to overcome that juice. And, of course, you could play it on the run line, but then again, now they have to win by 2. They're only guaranteed 8 at-bats because they are the home team. That's why I think team totals is a very undervalued way to handicap Major League Baseball. So, again, we're going to do the same thing. So let's go over here to Kansas City, and this will be relatively easy to do. So we're going to add up the number of runs they've given up in the last 8 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so it goes here. Okay, so we can see they've given up 5, 9, 3, 7, 5, 5, 11, and 6. So KC has given up 51 runs in their last 8 games. And now we do the opposite. We want to see how many runs Detroit has scored. If you're something in the background, we're actually having thunderstorms here, so I apologize for that. Okay, so we're going to look and do the same thing for Detroit. 6, 0, 7, 8, 5, 7, 6, and 5 are the number of runs they've scored in the last 8 games. So a little bit less, 44. So with them, again, we'll do our calculation. 51 divided by 8 is 6.3. 44 divided by 8 is a little bit less, 5.5. And let's average these two together. So click here, plus this number, divided by 2. And we get 5.9. Look at the team total line. I actually took a screenshot of the sports book. Look at the team total line. There it is right there. Detroit Tigers over 4.5 minus 125. And again, and if you think about this, it's almost the same as playing them on the run line. I mean, on the money line, because if Detroit scores 5 runs, probably going to win the game anyway, because you can understand that by looking at the team total. The overall total is 9 runs. So if Detroit scores 5, more than likely they're going to probably win this game. And you only have to lay minus 125 in comparison to laying minus 142 for Detroit to win overall. So I think that's a much better way to handicap that. And we'll do the same thing here again. So our line is 5.9. Book's line is 4.5. We take the little number, which is 4.5, divided by the big number, and we get the same number. We get 75. So again, that's, and minus 1 would be 25% margin on that game as well. So again, very, very simple way to calculate that. And obviously you might ask the question, why don't you use pitching stats? All that's basically factored into this. And I think this is a simple way to do it rather than to try to factor in starting pitch or relief pitching. All that's factored into this by simply calculating runs. Now, another note, will this work or be profitable long term? I don't know, because I haven't back tested this, but obviously now that you have the formula, something you could do, maybe post the results in the comment section, but definitely gives you a very simple way to calculate this, and maybe even something that you can expand on yourself with your own handicapping. So anyway, hope this helps. Again, if you want access to this model, if you subscribe to Plays, it's only $100 a month. And I send out these model plays every single day. There's a link to join the description box. $49.95 gives you access to all of the model lines for all sports, in addition to all my coaching videos. And the best value of all is joining for an entire year. Normally you would pay $1,200 if you paid $100 a month. We discount at $600, so you only have to pay $499. Gives you access to everything on the entire site. Hope this video helps. Like, subscribe to the channel. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.